Hello, divas, diamonds, and dolls. Welcome back to our YouTube channel, Femininity with Momma Gail. Today, let's talk about the 3 superpowers of every woman, but it is a superpower that the feminine woman must tap into. These 3 superpowers have the power, the ability to take you from rags to riches. It is one of these superpowers that pulls me out of bed to make this video. In making this video, it was the intuition which said now is the time to put these 3 superpowers together and make the video you wanted to talk about that would bring women from rags to riches. These 3 superpowers are imagination, creativity, and intuition. It was intuition that pulled me out of bed. But let's start with imagination. The imagination, the mind, has the ability to show you, bring you to a place to create something out of nothing. The imagination, what you see in your mind, you have something that someone else may have seen, but not have seen it the way that you see it. The imagination has the power to bring you from one place to another place. Let's talk about artists. There are people who see and bring forth to you what was in their imagination. It was the creativity that brought what they saw in the imagination to the forefront so that you could see what they saw. Now, creativity can be writing, singing, doing a video, writing books, plays. It was a thought in somebody's mind, imagination, that they put into creativity and brought it to the forefront so that everybody else could see it or understand it. Because as long as it's in your imagination, it's going nowhere. It's when we create what we imagine that gives the image power. But it also takes the intuition, what woke me up this morning, the intuition to know when to bring this thing to pass, to listen to the inner being that says now is the time. Get up and make this video. Now is the time. Get up and write the book. Get up and write the play. Get up and write the song. Get up and start the business. Get up and your mate is waiting on the line for you at the Starbucks. Intuition tells you when you listen to the gift of intuition. Every woman has intuition. Every woman does not follow intuition. But the feminine woman should be led, in a sense, by intuition, because intuition is not going to steer her wrong. It's going to flow along with and in the energy, in the fluidity of her feminine energy. So the imagination, the creativity, and the intuition, the 3 are all inner. An inner prompting, intuition, an inner vision that you see and want to bring to pass. The creative part. the inner imagination, bringing it out for everybody else to see it. The imagination and the creativity working together. The creativity is the doing part, the creating, the making, the weaving, the woving, however you decide to bring forth to show what is in you. There is a book that I love. It's called The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I believe is how you pronounce his name. Just look up The Alchemist. There is a movie that is my favorite movie, one of my favorite movies, which is The Great Gatsby. There is a video that I watch over and over because the imagination, the creativity, the intuition that was put into this video, Beyonce and Jay-Z's Ape. That video, I don't care about the title, which the title complements the video. The video brings forward everything that they're saying in the title and the song. But that video is a visual of imagination, creativity, and intuition, along with greatness, excellence, wealth, power, influence. So is The Great Gatsby. So is the book The Alchemist. When you look at how the writer of the book strategically put The Alchemist together, when you look at the Great Gatsby, how he was born James Gads, a poor boy who used his imagination to change out of who he was to become something greater. When you look at Beyonce's I'm a Grown Woman, when she was a little girl dreaming and imagining. When you look at Jay-Z and his beginning, dreaming and imagining, knowing that they had the power to get someplace where people at that time may have thought they'll never get there. And it didn't take for them to come together to get there. They got there because of the dream, the imagination, the creativity, the intuition that they put together and moved forward in to become who they are. Now, what's Momma Gail's point? My point is, feminine young lady, you have the power in you, the superpower in you, to dream your life out of wherever you are. It doesn't matter. All of the excuses, I can't be, I can't do, this is not happening, I'm a product of my environment, things of that nature. It's all an excuse because you have this, the imagination. You have the creativity. We were all born with a gift to do something, even if it's just the gift to gab. The things that you see, the things that you imagine, the things that you imagine yourself doing, start doing. See, the things that you see, create it. You don't have to be an artist to paint something. You don't have to be a musician to make the music. You can use what it is that you have. Even if it's being a mentor to somebody else, it's something that you see that you know that you can do to bring out the greatness in you and allow that to elevate and escalate as you use your imagination to get to the place where you want to be in life. We talk about the laws of attraction. We attract what it is that we want. And in that attracting, you are and will be where you are if you cannot see yourself greater than where you are. Femininity. We talk about being these feminine young ladies. We want to dress up and look apart, but we don't want to invest in and see ourselves as these feminine women that we have the potential to be and become. We'd rather look like and act like instead of being and becoming, when the power is in us, the superpowers that we have to put these things together and work. And if we work it, it will work. I am a product of that. I grew up in the projects. I grew up around death or around always somebody ODing, committing suicide, things of that nature, gang violence, all kinds of shootings and retaliations and pissy stairwells, excuse my language, and things of that nature. But I'm trying to paint a picture for you to see that we can come up out of this. And where I am now, I didn't know about femininity back then, but I always knew that there was something greater in me, that there was something more that I wanted to do with my life. There was something more that I wanted, even in attracting gentlemen. There was a time when I thought, because when I was younger, a real little girl, maybe 5 or 6, it was a little light-skinned girl who we played with, and she said to me one day, "You are ugly, and no man is ever going to want you." And it hurt my feelings, and I let that stay in me for such a long time, even though this was a little girl who spoke something that she heard somebody else say to somebody else. But because her words pierced and penetrated me at the time, it brought me to a place where I was stagnant. And I say all of this to say, I did not use what I had because I was so focused on what somebody else said, what somebody else thought, somebody else's opinion. So I come to you, Diva, Diamond, and Doll, to make you aware of the superpowers that you have, your imagination, to get anything that you want, to be anywhere that you want. If you can see yourself there, you can achieve it. The creativity to create and bring forth the greatness that is within you. The intuition to follow the prompting. The intuition is not just to warn us when it's hurt and harm and danger and somebody's in trouble and things of that nature, but your intuition will prompt you and tell you when to get up, when to make the move, when to go to Starbucks because your mate is sitting having a hot cup of Joe and you're still home in your pajamas. The prompting, the intuition, preparing, listening, getting up. And because of these superpowers, you have the potential to transition from rags to riches. As we spoke of Beyonce and Jay-Z, they didn't always have what they have. But when you look at that beautiful video, how it was just brought from a vision into fruition, the luxury, the wealth, the beauty, the togetherness unfolding before us for us to see what they envisioned, which was an image in their imagination, brought forth by creativity and prompted by their intuition to do this, to do that, to put this here, to put that there, and to bring it forth. The book The Alchemist with the writer. If you've never read that book, it's a must read. On everybody on planet Earth should read that book. Because the gentleman, the young man in the beginning of the story, a poor boy, ends up wealthy by the end. And I'm not going to spoil it for you. But he had to go through a journey, which life is a journey for all of us. We have to learn how to use what's been given to us. The Great Gatsby. It blew me away watching that movie because it really opened my eyes and something snapped in me when he spoke to the young lady, I forget her name, that he was in love with all of his life. And she said something to him in the aspect of, you created all of this. And he said to her, oh, you were there all along. So he created everything, all of his wealth, everything that he had with her in mind and already there before he got her. This should speak to us. There is nothing that you cannot get. There is nothing that you cannot have. And the last tip that I'm going to say is, there is no gentleman who you are not worth being with, knowing your worth. Sometimes we can't use our imagination, creativity, and intuition because we feel threatened, intimidated, we don't belong with because of who he is. There is no one that you are not worthy to be with. While everyone has willpower, and you cannot control people and make them see you as something that they don't see you as. You can't override their willpower. But don't ever allow anyone to make you feel like you don't belong with them. Why? They're human, just like you are. But these are the 3 superpowers that Momma Gail magnified today. There are many more superpowers. But intuition, creativity, and intuition will take you from rags to riches and bring you to a beautiful place in your life as long as you follow, bring forward, and do what you need to do to flow in these gifts. This is Femininity with Momma Gail. Have a blessed and prosperous day, divas, diamonds, and dolls.